So it's not just, are your chakras balanced? It's not just, is there an entity on you? It's not just, is your, have you got an illness or an infection? It's not just those. It's your physical body, it's your mental body, it's your emotional body, and it's your spiritual body.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Naturally You Radio. My name is Leah Sam, I'm the Naturally You coach. And today I am joined by my 20-something-year-old bestie, Sharma Pillay.
It's me.
She's an energy healer and an entity removal specialist. And we were literally just talking about this. The reason why Sharma's on the podcast is because the work that she does, like a lot of Black women are into and have a reawakening in the acknowledgement of how important our spiritual development is. But the work that Sharma does is on a level that I don't think most Black women even acknowledge or appreciate as being vitally important to their mental and emotional and spiritual health. So we're going to talk about some things that, some of you may be very familiar with, but other people may not be as familiar with. And this podcast is about us learning all the different ways that we can naturally improve our health and take our health and our life back into our own hands. But we can't do that without the information to be able to do so. So learning is an ongoing, lifelong process, and this is part of that amazing journey. And we are both glad to be on that learning journey with you. So without further delay, Miss Sharma Pillay, could you please introduce yourself to the audience? Let us know what it is that you do and how it is that you got into the work that you're doing right now.
Okay, so I'm Sharma, as you've said. I am an energy healer, which I've been doing for, as long as I've known you as well, a good 25 plus years. Through my journey, I have had to learn how to do entity removal as well. So I've become a specialist in that just through cause and effect, really. So how I got on this journey, I guess, is like, when I look back now, even as a teenager, people were drawn to me that were possessed or that just had really dark, strange energy around them. And they weren't bad people. They were looking for help. At the time, I couldn't help them, but I had no fear to the issue that they had. Whereas everybody else found them very jarring and strange and stuff. But I didn't know back in those days, and that's from school actually, how to really help them. I see now that I've gone along my journey and the work that I do, that this is something I was supposed to do. This is a part of my mission work, is to help people understand what that side of things is, because it's very invisible to everybody. And because it's in a realm that we don't see. It's in a fourth dimensional realm, a finite realm. So people don't realize things are around them, things are affecting them. So I won't go off on a tangent because I will. So but that's in a nutshell me. I do.
Thank you. So for people that aren't aware, what is an energy healer, firstly?
So that's somebody that can manipulate electromagnetic field energy, like chi energy or healing energy. There are different systems. There's Reiki, there's Sikkim, there's divine love frequency. There's all different systems, but it's manipulating a different frequency of the same thing that you then put into somebody's body or run through somebody's body to help create balance. When something's wrong, there's an imbalance. When we bring the chi energy or the life force energy through somebody, and not just through their physical body, through their energetic bodies as well, we help to create balance, and then it helps the body to heal quicker. It helps people to feel back to themselves, back into their centered space. That's in a nutshell.
Thank you. What are the different types of, so I know most people are aware of like Reiki. What other kind of energy healing or balancing systems are there?
Wow. So just the ones that I know, there are the hands-on healing systems. There are various different types of Reiki. Sikkim is an Egyptian healing, various different types of Sikkim. You then also have sound healing. You have sound bowls. You have you don't see people with those tuning forks. That's another type of healing, because it's energy and vibration that goes through you cellularly and creates change in these finite layers that we're talking about. There is a spiritual healing where you bring energy through your body yourself and just realign things. I mean, there's so many different types. Yoga is an energy healing, like all of these things. Breathing exercises are another type of energy healing. So it's such a vast area. With pretty much anything to do with the energy body, and all of the bodies are energy, could be classed as an energy healing. But yeah.
So okay, so that's the energy healing and the work that you do. So and when we first met, that was what you taught me. I think we did like, you did my Reiki one and my Sakem healing one. And I remember that was the stuff that you've been doing for the longest, I guess. You also used to do massage as well, didn't you?
Yeah. I started with Swedish body massage, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so that's energy healing. Then for those who, in fact, let's stay on energy healing for a minute. So you were saying that energy healing helps you to kind of get people back into balance and alignment and all those kind of things. How does the energy around us work? And how does it get out of balance? And what is it that you're doing to get it back into balance?
Okay, so it's a vast question. So how does it get out of balance? So we have many energy systems that need to be balanced together, if you like. So if anybody has seen the Marvel movie, Doctor Strange, there's a piece in that movie where he goes to the mystic teacher or whatever, and she's showing him all these different systems. Oh, this is your chakras, this is your energy bodies, this is like your thingies. And he's saying, oh, these postcards, and he's getting annoyed. And she's saying, no, people keep teaching one system. What they're not doing is putting these all together and recognizing that the body needs to be balanced in all of these. Just for people that have seen that, I just thought that was a very, very clear way of understanding it. So it's not just, are your chakras balanced? It's not just, is there an entity on you? It's not just, have you got an illness or an infection? It's not just those. It's your physical body, it's your mental body, it's your emotional body, and it's your spiritual body. And within the spiritual body, there are finite layers. So there are your chakra systems, which are the energy wheels that spin. Each one is connected to several organs in the body. So if one is out, it can affect your organs. If your organs are out, it can affect your energy center. And if any of the energetic and visible bodies are not functioning, then the life force energy that needs to move through you so that you have balance within your body energy system can't go. So if you imagine just your throat chakra is blocked, this now is like this. The throat chakra is blocked. The throat chakra is going to affect your ability to communicate. Whether you're afraid to say something, it's saying might affect your thyroid, it might affect your esophagus. Now you've got ear, nose, and throat condition. All of these are not just one thing. It's going to be to do with several things. Is that?
Wow. Okay, so this is similar. So like you said, this is like just for people to kind of find something they may already be familiar with. This is like the principle behind kind of acupuncture and acupressure, that kind of chi life force energy.
Yeah.
That's
So
similar
that's another system, actually. Thank you for remembering that the meridians are very important as well. So if I'm checking somebody's energy system, I will check whether they're grounded. I will check whether they're connected to divine love frequency. I will check whether their chakras are balanced. I will check whether their meridians are open or whether their meridians are blocked in certain places, because all of these things can have a different effect on how they're feeling. So they might just have a headache, but that could be not just a lack of hydration. That could also be like, oh, the left brain's not working properly, or the pineal gland is shut. It could be various different things. So when I go in and find all the things, there's much more wholeness within the body. So, or much quicker ease of feeling better. But and this is the same for any energy healer, for any healer, there's only so much we can do. Like you can give them the herbs, I can like balance their chakras, but it's always going to be coming from something within the emotional body. And that needs some kind of work. Otherwise, we can surface level cleanse it and heal it, but that's going to come back up. If you haven't dealt with those inner emotions, that inner frequency, that shadow work, as people call it, then that's going to be an issue. And then going into the Black and brown community, what we have here is we have people coming from deep generational trauma, from slavery, from dark things happening to our family, to our ancestors, and that comes through a bloodline. And like with the entity removal, things can come through a bloodline, and it could just be fear, and things can come outside of you to affect you and affect your energy field because your frequency is low. So like this, as you were saying at the beginning, this is the kind of stuff I really want people to know. Like we really want people to understand that this comes from somewhere. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. From the time you realize it's there and you recognize that it's where it's coming from, you can go back and heal through that line. You can do your generational trauma work. It will help to release the struggle that you're feeling here, which then will help to balance your own energy systems, which will help you to feel better and wholesome in your body as you're feeding your body the right foods and taking the right stuff. So there's like a whole chain of things that kind of happens.
Wow. Okay, so this might be a really basic question, but I know not everyone definitely knows, and I sometimes get confused as well. We all know what the physical body is. Can you just briefly explain the difference between the mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies?
I have a chart.
I love a chart.
I drew it myself.
Well done.
I'm not very good with the computers. Okay, so this to kind of help, like, get it back to somebody, isn't it? Yeah. So when I'm working with an issue that somebody has, I'm helping them with that issue in their physical body, in their mental body, in their emotional body, and in their spiritual body. All of these bodies have to work together. So if I'm going to give you an example of somebody being, say, overweight, somebody's heavily overweight, and they're not happy with that, they want to help that. Where that might affect their physical body is, of course, in their diet. Are they exercising? Like, what's the constitution? What's going on in their cells? That's going to be important for them to look at and know. Physical is very important. That's housing everything. In their mental body, there may be a belief of a lack of self-worth. There might be, well, I don't feel like I'm good enough to feel good about myself, or they've come from trauma, or there's something in the mind that makes them feel away. So in the emotional body, if they have experienced trauma and they've gone through like some difficult relationships, childhood upbringings, remembering, or if it's generational trauma coming through their family line, that creates an issue of self-worth or fear. That frequency and this one to kind of work together and affect each other. So like, that's going to have an effect on their vibrational frequency. And then spiritually, if they've got negative energies or entities around them, that's going to, like, because all these other things are going on, it's easier for something to jump into their energy field because they have the frequency of fear, which is a low vibrational frequency, which then lower vibrational energies or entities in that kind of spiritual realm feed off of emotions. So while we're still vexed with people, upset with people, or holding on to our traumas and stuff with people, where every time we're feeling those things, we are kind of opening that door. So if we're not doing some kind of spiritual cleansing or doing some kind of rituals to kind of keep your frequency right while you're dealing with these other issues, you're going to repeatedly have stuff happening, be drawing situations to yourself and stuff. So that kind of
yeah.
Just very quickly, some people already know this as well, just going into the science of more of the quantum science of the body, the frequency of your emotional body will program your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will talk to the law of attraction, and then the law of attraction will bring you the same frequency that your fear base is. So somebody that's overweight has an issue with lack of self-love, like they hate themselves, they have no self-worth because of how they were treated, they don't even realize that's a thing. If they don't start dealing with that issue within the self, then the law of attraction is going to bring them more issues to make them feel unloved, to make them feel like they're not good enough. It's going to because it's going to bring a matching frequency and vibration. Sorry, I keep pointing at the wrong thing because it's
all right. It's okay.
But yeah, you get it. Yeah.
Okay, so using that example, how would you help someone who was overweight address those four bodies?
So what I recommend with my clients is that, like, you get a piece of paper, you draw the 4 circles, you label them. Go and find somebody to check up on your physical body, get your cells looked at, find out what's going on here, so you know what to do there. That's physical. Find that a little bit clearer if you know where to look and you know what to do. And then it's about going back and saying, now, what are the issues in my life? I would always then deal with the emotional one next. I said that wrong. I would actually do the spiritual work first, because it doesn't matter what's going on here. If you don't get rid of like energetic parasites, they're going to interfere with you trying to do your own work. So I would always do that first.
Yeah.
And then come back and I would like make sure my physical's got what it needs, make sure I'm working on towards that issue. Now, what's going on with my emotional body? So, and at that point, you've written like a circle, you've written emotional body. Where am I with my emotional body? What things am I afraid of? What things am I still upset about? What things am I angry about? Who are the people that I don't want to talk to anymore, like, and why? You know, because it doesn't mean you have to make friends with everybody that you've cut out of your life. It just means you have to look at what was the trigger and why is it there and where does it come from. So things like that, and then mentally that kind of balances out. That will balance, because then we have to be like, yeah, I don't need to be afraid of this person anymore. I don't need to hold on to the fears of these things. And a lot of people, they like to do their affirmations and stuff. I love affirmations. I love a vision board. I love all those things. But if you haven't changed the vibrational frequency within your emotional body, it's not a vibrational match. For money, for example, if like somebody has a lack of self-worth, you can say like, I am rich and wealthy as much as you like, but that's a disharm, that's not a match. So you have to love yourself to feel that abundance, to bring that money towards you. So that's where that actual work would be. So
that is very helpful. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, thank you. So now if we can talk about the entity removal, and how that ties into everything, because I think there are people that are, know a bit about the law of attraction, the mental, emotional, spiritual, and energy healing, and all those things. And hopefully they'll understand it more now that you've explained it as well. But entity removal is going to be new to a lot of people. Can you explain what the entity what entities you're talking about are, and why you're removing them, and yeah, what they are, why you're removing them, and the result when an entity has been removed. Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a chart first so that you can kind of understand. Oh, I love a chart. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a chart of the vibrational frequency of your consciousness. This has been scientifically mapped out. So I don't know if you can see the thingies on it.
Yeah.
It's backwards. There it is. So a negative energy or entity will attach to you from pride downwards, basically. Let's just look at these bottom colors. So you're looking at here, you're looking at this kind of, I don't even do a circle. You're looking at this area, right? So so if somebody's feeling any of these feelings, and just as an example, you're looking at pride, you're looking at anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame. Guilt and shame are at the bottom. Like, that's a frequency that a lower vibrational energy or entity can feed off of. They feed off of emotional energy. So again, that's another heads up why that emotional work is like one of the most important things that you want to do, because by default, you're going to be drawing other things towards you. When I'm saying lower vibrational energy or entity, there are so many different names for different things. You can have a different species of something in that realm. You can have a ghost, you can have a poltergeist, you can have an incubus, you can have a succubus. There's so many names that it was just ridiculous, and so I didn't bother with the names. I started studying by understanding frequency. So each one of those names, if it's a lower vibrational energy, that means it's service to self and its own consciousness. It's going to feed off of your energy no matter what, because it's trying to survive. So it's trying to feed itself because it has a disconnect and it's stuck in the 4th dimension. So do you want me to do a little dimensional thing? Right. So dimensional thing is, let me use this graph. So that's the human body in the middle, right? And all those lines around it. One of those, this is like our auric fields, but these are layers of our energetic bodies. One of those is your emotional body, one of those is your mental body, one of those is your astral body, and then there's some higher bodies around those as well. Now, within that auric field, this this part of you is in what we call the third dimension. So it's physical, you can poke it, you can feel it. These parts of you, the lines around you, that's in the fourth dimension. That's where electricity is. You can't see electricity, but the light will come on. So like it's an invisible layer around the human, but you are made up of all of this, and that can be scientifically proven now. They have, I think it's Kerlin photography, they have other ways where they can take a picture of you at certain speed that captures the colors and the energy in your auric fields and stuff. So that when I'm talking about fourth dimension, I'm talking about the things that are in that invisible realm. So and within that invisible realm, that's where you will find some of these kind of more ghostly things and like lower vibrational energies or entities. It doesn't matter what they're called, they are a lower vibrational energy entity. They are service to self in their mindset. If they are service to self in their mindset, that means you are always more powerful than them, because you have your heart chakra open, you are thinking with kindness. If you're somebody that's behaving and thinking and loves anything, you're already at a greater level than a lower vibrational energy or entity. I know I went off the question, but
no, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. So you're saying that there's, without us being able to see them, in the same realm as electricities and frequencies and vibrations and radio waves and microwaves and all those kind of things, there are also sentient, conscious beings as well that we just can't see. And the lower vibrational ones feed off the same way we feed off food. They feed off our energy when it's at a low vibration. And what brings us to a low vibration is when we are feeling the lower vibrational thoughts and feelings, the lowest being fear and
our everyday stuff that we're going through. And this like ties it back to the generational traumas we were talking about, like for Black and brown women and men, like, we're remembering things without realizing we're remembering things. These things is coming down through our bloodline. I've seen entities move through a bloodline from from a downline, an ancestral curse come through everybody to a person at the end. And like when they don't even know that great grandfather or grandmother and stuff, these things can come through because of the fear that was generated during those times of slavery. And so guys know what's happening. I want to bring that energy into here, but that's when you've been broken at such a level, and then that's coming through the cells of your offspring and like download, that's programmed in, like that's in there. Those memories are in there. You might not remember them in your conscious mind, but there will be irrational fears, there'll be a sudden panic attack, there'll be stuff that's going on. What I like to do, so one of my jobs, I feel, and what one of my missions are, is teaching people that when we have those things come up, they're going to come up because we're all going on a journey, but when they come up, you can navigate them. You just have to learn how to change your frequency and vibration so that those things don't have to affect you anymore. So that kind of thing.
Wow. Okay. So would it be safe to say that the majority of us are going to have that then?
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. Okay.
Every so often, whenever you're in a bad space, if there's something around that sees you in that bad space, because when you're in a frequency that matches it, it's going to see you, you're in its realm now, so it's going to come towards you or whatever, and then if it can jump into you and feed you, it's going to do that. And that's like a really good that you asked that question, because I can go off into, once it jumps into your energy field because you are feeling low, it's then going to try and keep you there. It needs to keep you in the lower bracket as much as possible. So it's going to run these loop thoughts. Yeah, that person is terrible. How could they do? It's going to run this dialogue, and you think it's you because it sounds like your thought, and it's not you. This thing is exacerbating a situation so that it can continue to feed off of you while you get emotional about it. So the percentage I usually see is 30% something the human has to deal with and 70% infiltration. So through the 25 years I've been doing this, that's kind of the rough percentage that I've seen.
So unbeknownst to us, in our everyday life and experience as humans, we can inadvertently attract these entities. And if then we either choose to change our vibration or someone helps us change our vibration, we can release them from us or discourage them from being around us. That can be happening without us knowing it.
Yeah.
We're
Even
attracting and
grounding can help put you back in a higher frequency that can have things shake off of you, and then you just feel better being grounded. Sometimes they're a little bit more stubborn and they hang on a little bit more, but like, you know, either way, the minute you don't fill out, I'll give you an example of I brought a list of some of the things you could feel when you're under some kind of, we call it an energy attack. Brain fog, fatigue, unexplained fear, anxiety, panic, disturbed sleep, feeling like somebody's watching you and you don't know what that is, like this just feels like there's somebody in the room, negative thoughts, suicidal thoughts. Very, very often I had that whole stream one time of people with suicidal thoughts that knew they weren't suicidal. They're like, why am I thinking this? And like, so luckily they were strong enough in their minds to not believe the thought. And then we were able to remove things from them. Feeling disconnected from everybody, isolating yourself from everybody. Some of these things can really like be something in your energy field.
Wow. Okay. So that's what they are. That's how we can attract them. How can we protect ourselves? Because I appreciate that, like, even with the work that I do, if someone comes in with a physical, challenge, I can give them remedies and diet changes and they do all the things and they don't make as much progress as everybody else. And that's because their condition is more deep rooted than the surface level stuff. Is that the same with energetic work? Is it the same in the sense that someone can do a practice of grounding themselves and think positively, but the attachment or the entity that's on them is bigger than they can handle?
Yeah, that can happen. And it really just comes from like a lack of awareness of what's around you. So one of the things that I teach my clients to do is like a breathing technique where the first breath is a grounding technique. It's like just grounding, imagine those roots coming down so that you're grounded. The second breath is connecting to divine love frequency or whatever the concept of this highest realm is. And then the third breath is bringing that divine love through you, through your body, because that's a frequency, through your body, through your roots, and then breathing it out. So you're sitting in like a bubble of divine love frequency. When you're in that frequency, even if you're having a hard time, when you're in that frequency, that will push things off of you. So like, that's a practice I do every morning, every night before I go to bed. And if I get jarred for some reason in the day, I just do it again. So the biggest thing I would want people to take away from this is that it's about frequency. It's not about fear. So once we start to, because then we're always afraid of the unknown. People are afraid of the unknown. So that's like knowledge is power, or the application of knowledge is power. So the more you understand about, oh, it's just a thing and it's trying to feed off me, it's trying to wind me up. Listen, I'm busy today. Move. That's literally, that's it. So, but because it's such a woo-woo kind of subject, nobody wants to know. But or nobody understands it. They don't teach us this at school. They should have taught us energy stuff. They should have taught us all of these things. I feel like these things were deliberately kept from us. I feel like even within the black and brown community, like through the whole slavery movement, we were purposefully switched off in our pineal glands to be connected to like our power and our deeper truths. I see that a lot in my black and brown clients. So like I always see something through the ancestry coming through. And then like that's where we have to go back, help, heal, release things and stuff. And like there's so many different techniques. I don't like to get stuck on any particular technique. I don't have a magic technique. It's all about intention. Your intention to do something, however you want to do it, is going to carry you forward. So like and doing that, remembering the God that you are, or the highest frequency that you are, the divine love that runs through you, whatever anyone's name is for that. When you remember that you're a part of that, everything exists in that. And I'll just give you like a little example again, if I can point to things properly. So for a low vibrational energy or entity to attach to you, you need to be at this lower bracket here. So when you do this breathing technique, the grounding breath, connecting, bringing light through you, sitting in the energy of it, like when you've done the first two breaths, you've already brought yourself into a higher frequency of consciousness by the time you've done the second breath. When you do the third breath and bring that energy through you, you're not even on this chart. This is all in duality. This is a dualistic world planet that we're living in, or life that we're experiencing right now. But when we step into our highest frequency, we're outside of duality. So I do my energetic clearings so powerfully because I understand frequency. It's not because I'm a ghostbuster, it's because I understand frequency. But I know by the time I'm bringing through that divine love frequency, there's nothing opposite to that. So I already won. So I'm just going to sit there, bring that energy through until it stops, and then it's going to go. So I can give you examples, my personal examples. So if I'm driving through a space where it's like a rough area, or there's been a series of accidents or something. I had this like near where I live on where my mum used to live on the Western Avenue. So I'm driving down towards their house, and every time I drive past this particular area, it feels like something's stabbing me in my head. Something jumps into the car and starts stabbing me in my head. Okay, because I'm sensitive now, I know the difference between I've got a headache and what's stabbing me in my head. I shouldn't have a headache right now. And so all I do, I bring light through me, and I make little light bombs. I throw it into my head until it stops. I'm not going to give it the time of day. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm busy. I'm going where I'm going. I will do it until it stops. There is no question in my mind that it's going to stop. Like I will deny anything else, any power over my energy field, because we are sovereign. So that's when we be in that divine love frequency, you recognize your sovereignty. When you recognize your sovereignty, you get to say what's in your field. You get to decide whether something is there and something isn't there. So it's like absence of that knowledge that makes us go through some of the things we go through. So, and I right now, there's so many beautiful movements that are trying to help people raise and stuff. So like, I really love that so many people are trying to do their work. I love the sister you had on last week, which was talking about the venting room, holding that space for everybody, like that's beautiful that we all get to have a story, we get a place to talk, we get a place to like share experiences, and each one teach one, like everybody moves, it's good. And then moving this way, as long as everyone's moving this way, this is good. So and if you're doing that, it's easier to then maintain that frequency, because you're not going to let this issue or this entity or this something be like, there's something in your room, come out my house. I'm busy, come out my house. So you need to own your sovereign, own the sovereign of your house, protect your family in the same way. And that's another thing. When you're in this energy bubble, no low vibrational energy or entity can attach to you, because the frequency that you've now created around yourself is too high. It's just a frequency thing. So when you're in that frequency, the only thing that opens that bubble for something to come in is if you drop in your frequency, if you've come down into fear for some reason. So when you come down into fear, but you recognize that's where you are, it's okay. We're here in a human form. We have to have experiences. We're going through traumas. We're working to free our lineage from all different things. So when you have one of those bad days or you're triggered about something, just redo your breathing. Push it. You're now going to have the clarity of mind to navigate how to move forward with the issue that you have. So rather than get stuck in it and be on a downward spiral of thinking where it's just going to feed off of you and feed off of you. So it's like that.
Audience, let me just let you know what she's just said in the last 40 minutes or whatever is a fraction of what she knows, by the way. So if you think this is a lot, okay, before we go any further, can you just let people know, number one, where they can find you, the services you offer, the programs you offer, the downloads, all the things, before we keep going?
Yeah, okay. So you can have a look on my website with some things. My website is Sharma1.life. On my Instagram, which has got some of my testimonials and things on there, is Sharma1Life, all one word, number one. And you can email me if you're having problems with anything and you want to book in. I can send you a link to my calendar, or you can just book in through my website, Sharma@Sharma1.life. I forget them and I've written them down there. So I know all this other stuff. What's my name? Yes, you can contact me like that, just so that people know I don't take phone calls directly. It would have to be via text or email and booked in through a site. And I do that because if somebody has got attachments, I need to do the work before I speak with them, and then show them what we did and how they can maintain that work. And that's one of the things that I like to do. It's my job one of the main parts of my job is to make sure people don't need to come back to me. I'm not here to keep people coming. I'm here to put you back in your seat, in your sovereign state, so that you don't allow anything into your energy field and you can protect your family moving forward. And can imagine like what happens then when everybody knows how to do that. They all know to look after their families and their land and their everything else. And then and that just spreads. And again, each one teach one. And now we're all working at a frequency where that isn't an issue anymore. We just have to deal with the human stuff.
So just on the flip side of that, well, not that there's opposites, but another aspect of that, if there are all these negative low vibrational frequencies around as well, is there an equal and opposite amount of positive higher vibrational frequencies around as well?
Yeah, so within that there are various dimensions, which literally is just different frequencies. There's the frequency of the physicality, there's the frequency of where the electricity and ether kind of is, and then there's another more finite level of ether. So you've got third, fourth, and fifth. With the positive beings are usually in the fifth dimension and above. There are many dimensions. So they can be in the fifth dimension and above because the heart chakra is open. Things that are stuck in the fourth dimension are thinking with the lower three chakras. That's the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakra. They can't move past that thinking, which means the heart is not open. If the heart is not open, the heart service is up. And the weirdest thing that I also want to say on their behalf is that they're just on their journey as well. These are younger souls who learn stuff. We're like, if you're somebody that does believe in past lives and stuff, then you all understand that you've been the victim and the abuser. We've been everything. If you're an older soul, then you've definitely done that. These are just on their way. These are beings that are on their way. They're still stuck in their own thinking. They had their own traumas when they were alive. They're still believing in whatever that is. So they kind of need help. So I'm all about help move out the way, but if they and helping them transition to their next stage of evolution. But if they don't want to go, then I'm very sovereign. I'm like, that's your business, and you need to step away from my field and my family. And if I'm in the shopping center, don't come in here until I yeah. But like we need to be thinking like that. Like we're all having our experience, and it's your reality. We're creating our reality in every moment because of the way universe is structured. So as powerful Black and brown people, and this is another thing, like we're coming from so much slavery and oppression and all the different things we're coming from, but there are ancestors before that had wisdom, that had knowledge, that had superhero powers. So the same way we're accessing this, we just need to go past, access some of that, and then remember that in this day and time, and use that energy to when you remember that side of you, none of this is anything. You can release so much. So and then use that now for the people. So
So on that, how does I know one of the missions you're on, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the missions that I feel that you are on is to create awareness within people that they can create and achieve mastery in their life.
Yeah.
Is that something you're?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you speak on that? Because you know what's interesting, you know what's brilliant is normally when we there's kind of personal development or health empowerment or whatever it is, it's all very limited. It's all very, we can only do this, we can only just about achieve this. But when you speak, it's like everything is possible, anything is possible. We have all the power to do all the things in all the world. And I think it's very different than what most people are used to hearing. Therefore, most people don't even think it's possible. And then as women, we are very often told when we speak too highly of ourselves, there's an aspect of vanity and, women being kept in our places and thinking we're too much and all that kind of stuff. And when hearing you speak, it's completely the opposite. So can you speak a bit on how you feel the role of mastery can, or us achieving mastery, how that can help us in our journey?
Yeah, so mastery is about mastery of the self. That's all it's ever been about. And that's all it is. And the more you go in and do that work and find your peace in the midst of everything you've been through, and heal yourself and love yourself in the midst of everything you've been through, you raise up that dimensional scale, like I've been saying. When you get here, when you're at that higher vibrational frequency, you manifest much quicker with your mind the things you need. You now draw to yourself positive situations because you're vibrating in a positive mind state. But that just goes to show you the heaviness that our people are going through, like that heaviness that we were still trying to pull apart and understand. And everybody's so busy, and we're kept busy, and we're kept separate and against each other for different things. And so many things are going on that we're trying to work out, even within our own communities. People are fighting, and like our own families and in-laws and all sorts of things. We see that I say a lot of that in Asian families, like their in-laws. I'm like, people, come on. But anyway, yeah. So and it's learning to understand that everybody has a story, and as you master yourself and you understand that person has a story, and you stop taking that person's story personal to yourself, or taking their attacks as personal to you, and understand that's coming from whatever level that they're at. Maybe they're a younger soul, maybe they don't understand things yet, maybe they're full of jealousy and stuff. If somebody's full of jealousy, and I see that a lot in the Black women's community, one woman jealous of another woman, everybody's just bitching about people. And it's really, really sad. But at the same time, that one person who's jealous, why is she jealous? What did she get when she was growing up that she has to feel jealous of somebody else? What was she shown? How was she groomed? What happened? What happened? And that's the question. When you can start asking that question, doesn't mean you don't cut them off. Like, they don't have to live in your house. But when you start answering that question, you start to have compassion. When you have compassion, the heart is open. Now we're in the fifth dimension. When you have that, you can say, you know what, that's a shame. That person's low vibrational energy stuff that's on them that might be trying to jump through you, whatever jealous intention they have towards you, can't even reach you, because you're at a beautiful frequency now. And if anything, and what usually happens when someone's projecting something negative towards you, it literally will reflect off of your shiny field and hit them back, because it has to go somewhere. Yeah, it has to go somewhere. My mystic teacher, Eddie, he was from Jamaica, and he taught me so many things about energy in that way. He said, when you've got somebody calls you a name, somebody calls you an idiot, yeah, and then you say, no, and they say, yeah, you're an idiot. You do this. You're spending time in duality, just doing this backwards and forwards energy. Someone calls you an idiot, and you say, okay. You kind of move yourself somewhere, and you just understand that, and you understand that isn't a part of you. But that person's energy and intention has to go somewhere, but it can't reach you now. But it has to land. So it's background, and just they have to deal with it. It's like their instant karma. They have to deal with that themselves. You don't take it on board. So and then as they have their karma, they start to learn their lessons. They will come to a point where they're like, why does this keep happening to me? Why has everyone got everything else? And they have to look inwards, and then they grow. And then you've actually provided them a platform to grow by leading by example. And the example being, like, I see you're in a space. I don't need to interact with you, but I hope you get better. I hope you find something. And it's okay if you want to hate me, and it's okay if you want to be jealous of me. I don't need to take that into my energy field. And I bless you, and I wish you well. So, and then you just get on with your life, and you're here. And then you're still drawing good things to you, and you can cut cords with that person so their energy doesn't have to come towards you. So we're dealing with things invisible. So, and that, again, we were never taught this at school. So just like the light comes on with the electricity, it's there. We just don't see it. So, yeah. So between you and I right now, and this is why I will do my clearings before I jump into a call with even my clients, because as we're talking, there's an etheric cord between you and I, even though you're in Wolverhampton, wherever you are, and I'm over here. There's still a cord between us, and there's an alternating current of electromotive force going between us, alternating current. You feeling me, I'm feeling you, as we're communicating. If I was thinking about you later, I would still be making that link between you. When I'm in my bubble and you're in your bubble, whatever we're thinking won't reach inside each other, because that's why the spiritual, I call it getting spiritually dressed. So when you get spiritually dressed, that's not my phrase, that's from a book I read, but when you're getting spiritually dressed, you're protecting your spiritual field. We wouldn't go outside naked because we feel vulnerable and exposed, but our spiritual body, our auric field, is outside naked all the time. So, and it is vulnerable and exposed to that fourth dimensional realm. So get spiritually dressed before you go out, start your day in alignment so that you can manifest your things quickly, so that you know what you want, so that you're on your path and your ship's not just sailing round and round. It's like, you know where you're going. So it's really good.
Wow. That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so um, how can how can no, what kind of services do you offer? Like,
Oh,
how can
so
people
I
work with you? What kind of things? And can you give an example of like someone that came to you and the work that you did, and then how they felt, afterwards?
so there's a lot of testimonials on the Instagram page.
Oh, nice.
People have done that, which is cool. So most of my work at the moment is online. So they will just book in through my Calendly website for a session with me, and then we will literally just be like you and I are right now. I will have already looked into certain things in the energy field. I will talk to them about it, and then I will teach them how to maintain the space that I've set them at, what was going on. Because once they're aware of it, then they can get back in their zone, they can get back into their sovereignty, and then they see things open up and everything starts to get better. And then it's their job to maintain that. So they're always welcome to come back if they want to. Sometimes they like the self-mastery mentorship and
Yeah.
stuff. They know how to do entity removal at that point. So like we bless people truly, we render them independent of us. That's been my favorite phrase.
Yeah. So I had a question that went, Sam,
where did it go?
where did it go? I just think it's amazing what you do. That's what it is. I just think it's amazing what you do. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people have been in such a low state for such a long time. They've made that their whole personality, their whole life story. And we know, like from the work of Byron Katie, when we create a story for ourselves, we become very attached to that story. And it can be hard to break free from that story because it's more comfortable. It's a very comfortable.
It becomes your identity.
Yeah.
And now that the story's gone on for so long, who am I without the story? And that's,
Yeah.
so let me just stay in the story because at least I know what I look like here. So,
Yeah.
But
I think if people maybe more understood that they can be sovereign, that they can take back their power and control. And I think that is definitely something that's happening in the zeitgeist, and is definitely something in the consciousness of the planet, where there are large amounts of us, people that wouldn't normally even talk like this, are saying, I want freedom. I'm now beginning to recognize the oppression that I've been under. I'm recognizing the systems that have been put in place to keep me subdued, and people are recognizing the control that they thought was, like in the Matrix, where people that were in the Matrix, they thought they had a great life. It's only when you left the Matrix, you were like, I was in that. That was
it.
Really? So, yeah.
That's such an interesting movie though, because there are a lot of like very real concepts based off of how we're living right now. But yeah, I kind of just quickly wanted to speak on what you're saying about the feminine energy before as well. Like that's I mean, I think a lot of people are aware, but we're in the time of the divine feminine now. So like she is moving, she's not taking no crap anymore. She is starting to learn how to love herself and let go, because that's the frequency of the planet right now. So, and it's a really good and a really powerful time. And it's not about we're better than you or women are better than men. It's the divine feminine is all things. The feminine energy is creative, it flows. The masculine energy is structured. We need both. Like we need to work together, the men and the women. I love this analogy. If you think of the men as the banks of the river, like they steer, they hold that space, and then the woman is the water that flows through it with a creative energy. Without the banks, that's just a flood. Without the water, that's just a dry hole. So like both are important, but it's been so like masculine power before that we've needed to come up. And what happens, I think, sometimes is that we come to get to that level. Sometimes you go here because you really want, and then you have to get back down to and stuff. So, but that's the other kind of thing that I'm seeing, and like I really empower that feminine energy coming through, because the divine feminine, she's bringing the love frequency, and that's the shift that you're seeing. That love frequency takes you into the 5D. She's bringing it through her children, she's bringing it through her love, she's bringing it through all the work that the many jobs that she has. to hold space for everything. She's bringing that love through, and it is unconditional when it comes from a mother. So like it's natural for us to be like that. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I don't know why.
Would you consider in the future doing like group online courses? Because I feel like this is something that just, I think that's something you've done before. And would that be something you would consider doing again?
Yeah, I'm actually just putting some courses together to go up on Learn Worlds and stuff. So I'm kind of in the middle of creating that, because I find myself talking about the same thing with all the different people. I want more people to be able to get it for cheaper and whatever, but I can't show up for cheaper. So like I have to, so I want something that everybody can like just access and be able to kind of learn, because there's not one person watching this video right now that can't do what I'm doing. We were all sovereign. You all come from a divine being, and you all have power to hold that space for yourself. You're just going through your journey, and take your time, go through your journey, like feel your journey. Definitely, like that acknowledgement of your struggle is part of your growth. But do absolutely, but don't stay there for too long. As you can, find your tools, find your support systems, like the venting room. I love that. And like move forward. So
and I think one of the things that I'm taking from this is we have a lot more power than I think we realize, we acknowledge, we've been told we have. That the course of our life is more in our hands and more a choice than we maybe believe as well, or that we've been led to believe, and that it's just about making that decision and making that choice that you want better for yourself, and then using tools like this, using practices like this to create that journey and not be stuck, like you said, not stay in that place. And I don't think anyone would have got this far in the interview if this didn't resonate with them in some way, and they didn't feel like this could help them in some way. For those people, for those sisters who are still listening and feel like this is something for them, what ending message would you give to them?
You are not powerless. You are not alone. Your energy is sacred. Remember your sacred energy, and just remembering it, or just saying to yourself, I come from sacred energy. You will bring forward that wisdom, that knowledge, that high vibrational flex through your bloodline, cleansing as it comes through into you, and you will be in that powerful space. So, and just remembering it is about frequency. Keep it simple. Don't make it scary. Don't make it a ghost story. Don't just keep it. Everything is frequency. Everything is energy. So if the energy feels off key, change it. Like that's how I could simplify it. I know everybody's story is difficult, and some people will watch this and think, "What does she mean? I'm going through." I get it. But and I'm not trying to belittle it. The frequency of joy is up here. So when I make things silly and I'm funny and I mess about, I'm bringing this energy into a dark situation, and it makes it much easier for me to handle. It's not to be like insulting or anything in any way. It means that I'm raising the frequency myself. So be humor in all things. Like just try and make stuff funny. Make it not such a big deal. That helps you to raise your frequency. And then you can still go in with your tools when you're ready, your therapies, your healings, whatever you need to do, your journalings. That's a really good one. You saying about downloads. There's a download on my website called Clearing Negative Emotions. That's a big one for that emotional body. And you mentioned it to the sister in the last interview. And I just want, actually, if you don't mind, I'll just quickly tell them why, because the information is there on how to do it. I just want to tell them why quickly. Have we got time?
We got time.
Okay, yeah. So if you not imagine, this is your body. These are your emotional bodies. One of these lines is your emotional body. That means your emotional body is outside of your physical body. So it's here. It's not tangible. You can't see it. So that trauma is stored here. It's here. It's all over you here. The exercise is to get a pen and paper when you've got some time alone and just start writing out the stress, the anger, the frustration. You can cuss, you can swear. No one's going to read it. So you can be completely honest. It doesn't matter who it's about, what it's about. You say all the bad words and it doesn't matter if you can't read it. What you're doing there is you're accessing that emotional energy or energy in motion, and you're pulling it through the energy of your arm, the pen, the ink, and then onto the paper. Now you've pulled that out of your cells and you put that onto the paper. So now it's in the 3D realm, even if it's just in 2D form. After you've done that, and it's going to be one little situation, it can be a whole load of situations. It doesn't matter how you do it. You just want to start removing some of that frustration. It could be that person that's jealous of you. It can be that key mother-in-law. It can be whatever. And then when you finish writing, immediately, don't leave it for the next day. You want to screw those pages up. You want to take them outside. You want to burn them or tear them up, throw them away. Outside bin is better. You don't want to keep the energy in your house. And then when you're burning it, you're doing this affirmation. I no longer need these thoughts, feelings, and vibrations. So I give this back to the universe, and I ask that it be replaced with unconditional love and healing. So there are universal laws that are absolutely, the law of vacuum doesn't allow space to be empty. So if I'm energetically moving something from myself from here to there, that means anything can jump into that space. So I want to ensure the level of energy that jumps. And that's why we do affirmations after we've done a cleansing. So, and I ask that it be replaced with such and such. Whatever you want. And that's like a complete cycle of removing trauma yourself. You're accepting it when you're acknowledging it and doing the write-up about it, and now you're releasing it from you. So it's a much quicker way. Again, that was taught to me by Eddie, one of my mystic teachers, not with us anymore, but that was one of my go-tos. I taught my daughter that when she, my daughter, when she was like 3, she could hold a pen. She couldn't write. She couldn't even really draw, but she would scribble what she was angry about, why she couldn't have the cookie or whatever she was angry about. That's emotional intelligence now. So you want to teach our children, the children that are coming from our generation, these are like very high vibrational children. They're here to change things in a different way. The need for them to have emotional intelligence is very important, because this world will shut them down, because they're bringing higher energies. They're bringing more finite energies. They're going to feel a lot more than we do. So they give them those tools and stuff. I'm gibbering on, I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
This has been amazing. I'm going to share all your details. So listeners, there'll be all of Sharma's contact details and links to her site and her Instagram, so you can get in touch. And I highly do recommend you engage with her content and make contact with her. If anything that she has said has resonated with you, we eagerly anticipate the course coming out as well. Because there's been times I've just gone to your site and I'm like, why isn't there more for me to download?
Yeah, I know.
I just want to download.
Not technical, that it's slow for me, but yeah,
but excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening. We are going to be back next week with another episode. You can find all the episodes at thenaturallyyoucoach.com/podcast. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook under The Naturally You Coach, or just search Leah Salmon. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care and stay healthy.